Tonight, the family of a man found dead in Truya reacts to his untimely demise. Health officials say an outbreak of dengue fever is putting strain on the resources of the health ministry. And the CCC fires back at a vendor who accused an officer of heavy-handedness and abuse of power. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Tuesday, the 25th of August, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and our Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A family of Truya Marisil is left shocked after the body of a 27-year-old male relative was discovered along the roadside on Tuesday morning. The victim, Cleus Alfred, has been recorded as the island's 30th homicide victim. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting.
He's standing outside a residence in Truya in Marisil, where a gruesome discovery of a male body was found right here in this spot at around 6 a.m. this morning on Tuesday, the 25th of August. Residents reported hearing gunshots earlier in the day. We at Hot 7 reached out to the family of the victim, who has since been identified as 27-year-old Cleus Alfred of Wavin Makok in Moshi. One of his sisters, who did not wish to appear on camera, said she was shocked to find out that her brother was the island's 30th homicide victim.
I saw him around 5 o'clock. Because I have a truck going by my house there. So I spray my house and I saw him going up by the neighbor. And that's the last time I saw my brother. And today, when I was at work, they called me, they tell me they kill Cleus. My daughter tell me they kill Cleus. I say, Cleus? She tell me, yes, mommy, they kill Cleus. And she sent a photo for me. When I went in the mortuary, I seen my brother in the mortuary. So I miss my brother. Even though me and my brother always have ups and downs, he's still my brother, brother by mother. That's my flesh and blood. But that's a big pain for us.
Another sister, who also did not wish to appear on camera, revealed that she had no knowledge of her brother making enemies who would want to harm him in such a fashion.
For me, my brother was a loving person for me. I will not say for other people. I know he have his ups and downs, his little ways, his little attitude, but afterwards he would get to himself and come back and think. But I will not say my brother was a notorious criminal or a person that in a gang that I know of. I do not know where he does be, but I could testify he wasn't in no gang because he was there like a hermit. He would not even go to town. My brother and I, we used to be up there by my pillars. We planting, we talking, and I used to give my brother a word of encouragement a lot. I always used to tell him, stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. If you know, if it's going to bring trouble or that person is trouble, stay away from them. I always used to tell him that.
Police are currently investigating the matter. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The management of Cap Maison is clearing the air on a recent tragedy that struck the Premium Resort. Ross Stevenson gives the story behind the untimely death of a staff member and says when dealing with such tragedies where many lives are impacted, it is imperative that the correct information is disseminated. He also tells Hot 7 TV what is next for the resort and its staff body.
It has been a solemn time of mourning at the Cap Maison Resort and Spa in Cap Estate following the untimely death of employee Deshay Louis on Saturday afternoon. The 32-year-old lost his life after he was electrocuted whilst carrying out his daily duties in the different villas. On the fateful day, he was investigating an overflow issue of one of the pools in the pump room, and it was at this point when he met his demise. General Manager of the resort, Ross Stevenson, said he, like all other staff members, was completely shaken and blindsided by the incident. He gave an account of Louis' character and spoke of the impact of his death on the rest of the team.
Deshay has been with us for 9 years. Great guy, always positive, always upbeat, always with a smile, and to see him there was devastating. We're a very, very close-knit family. Most of the staff in Cap Maison have been here for quite a number of years. So So 9 years is not a long period of tenure for the staff. So we know each other well, we know each other intimately, we know each other's issues and problems sometimes, and then we're all here to support one another. And this type of thing is just devastating because you're losing, everyone's lost a family member.
It did not take long for the news of the death to spread like wildfire. Stevenson said it was rather unfortunate about the different accounts of the incident that were reported and set about to give information of what actually transpired.
There was an article put onto online news source when the police were still in the property on Saturday. And if you hide behind the word source, you can say practically anything you want to. I think it's irresponsible. We should only deal with facts, not with third-hand, fourth-hand. It's damaging for everybody. It's disheartening and painful for the family. I met with them yesterday, and one of their first questions was, can you tell me about this I've been reading online? So I then explained what we've gone through, what we're going through. And then from our point of view, it's about letting the professional people do the investigation, come up with the conclusions, and then we all know. So there was independent electrical engineers on property yesterday. There was the CID on property yesterday. The Labour Department was on property yesterday. And as I mentioned, I met with the family yesterday. Deshay on Saturday was carrying out a task which he's done for the last 9 years, daily. So from that point of view, we're at a loss to understand what went wrong from something which is a matter of course, something which he'd done day in, day out. So it's just unfathomable why this would have happened.
The hotel has suffered a share of tragedies, including the 2014 murder of Oliver Gobar and the 2015 murder of Yana Ogist. Saturday's tragedy is the first of its kind since the opening of the resort. The GM said it is a tough time. However, so much tragedy has led to a stronger and tighter family. He said he did not hesitate to provide support for his staff, as well as reach out to Louis' family.
I reached out to Unita, Deshay's mother, and to his girlfriend Sheena, and his father Clinton, who's in the States. So Clinton's making arrangements to come down for the funeral. And then we're here to support them in terms of what we need to do to make sure they're looked after. At the end of the day, we will be together. We will support each other through this. Our HR department is putting together a professional for those that want to seek counsel, including the family. So we'll always be here. We'll always be here for each other.
Stevenson said although he naturally has concerns with regards to the future and the reputation of the resort, he is going to allow due process to take its course. He said if there are any lessons to be learnt from the incident, they will most certainly be learnt. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Ministry of Health warns the nation of a dengue fever outbreak. It is being reported that the number of cases currently exceed the expected figures. And according to national epidemiologist Dr. Michel Fassoir, this places a strain on the already stretched health sector, which is currently fighting the global COVID-19 pandemic. A call is thus being sent out to the general public to do their part in fighting the vector-borne disease.
As if having to live with a COVID-19 pandemic was not bad enough, the year 2020 continues to prove to be a force to be reckoned with, as St. Lucians now have another deadly virus to worry about, dengue fever. On Tuesday afternoon, the island's national epidemiologist, Dr. Michel Fassoir, addressed the nation, where she gave the current shocking stats on the virus in St. Lucia. Dr. Fassoir said the increasing trends now institute an outbreak, meaning that the numbers being reported exceed the numbers expected, and as such warrants an immediate and targeted response.
As of the week of August 9th to 15th, 2020, there have been 168 confirmed cases of dengue infection. The hospitalization rate has been 46%, and case fatality rate remains at 0%. 38% of these reported cases were between the ages of 5 to 14 years. Even more concerning is the fact that both serotypes 2 and 3 of dengue are in circulation in St. Lucia. While most of the reported cases are concentrated in the northern, central, and eastern regions of the island, cases have also been reported in the south and west of the island, but to a lesser extent.
Dr. Francois said the impact of this outbreak is a major concern to the Ministry of Health. She asked the general public to be all in to bring a united fight towards keeping the virus at bay.
The public health impact of managing a dengue outbreak, combined with adjusting to the new normal amid COVID-19 pandemic, will place a strain on the already stretched healthcare services. The direct economic costs of treatment, hospitalization, and prevention, as well as the indirect costs, such as loss of productivity related to absence, disability, or death, and the effects on the tourism, is of concern to an already fragile economy. The Ministry of Health and Wellness therefore solicits the usual cooperation of the public in dealing with this emerging public health threat.
She went on to inform the nation of the details of the vector.
Dengue fever is one of the most prevalent arboviral infections worldwide. Dengue fever is mosquito-borne, which means that it is transmitted by a mosquito, usually the female Aedes aegypti, and to a lesser extent the Aedes albopictus. These are the same mosquitoes that are responsible for transmitting chikungunya, yellow fever, and Zika viruses. The mosquito lives in urban habitats and breeds mostly in man-made containers. It is a daytime feeder with its peak biting periods in the early morning and the evening before sunset. Dengue is widespread throughout the tropics with local variations in influenced by rainfall, temperature, humidity, and unplanned rapid urbanization. Dengue is also endemic to St. Lucia, which means that there is continued local transmission throughout the year. However, we see spikes at certain points during the year, usually during the rainy season when the rains come in and there is breeding of the mosquito. There are 4 distinct types or serotypes of the virus, types 1, 2, 3, and 4. Recovery from infection is believed to be lifelong. You get immunity for the rest of your life from one serotype. However, cross-immunity to other types is only temporary. After recovering from the first dengue infection, an individual is protected from infection with the remaining 3 dengue serotypes for about 2 to 3 months, which means in our context, as we do have type 2 and 3 in circulation, it is possible for an individual to be infected twice during the year.
Over the past few weeks, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has continued to provide updates to the public on the significant increases and trends of the dengue viral infection. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The island's Tourism Minister Dominic Fede has welcomed news that the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has revised its COVID-19 travel warning for St. Lucia. Fede says that this augurs well for St. Lucia and speaks to the success of local authorities to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. Shaka Wooding has more.
The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has removed its COVID-19 travel warning for St. Lucia. Previously determined to be at level 3, American tourists were asked to reconsider all non-essential travel to St. Lucia, citing serious risk to their safety and security. This warning baffled local authorities due to St. Lucia's relative success in mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic. As of Monday, August 24th, the CDC has reduced St. Lucia's rating to level 1, the lowest on its watch scale. This update has been welcomed with open arms by local authorities, including Tourism Minister Dominic Fede. By his account, this is a much more accurate depiction of the situation on the ground.
Well, this is amazing news for us. We're very delighted. All of us are elated at the fact that the CDC has descended us to level 1. This really is a big deal for our country and will certainly help our tourism aspirations. And it really is a testament of the tremendous work we've been doing as a country to manage the public health objectives, the first part of COVID-19. And all of the hard work that we've put in, all of the resources, all of the sleepless nights as a country, all of the sacrifices the people of St. Lucia have made in terms of adhering to the protocols, they have certainly paid off. And I am truly appreciative and excited.
The minister says he is further moved that the CDC now recommends St. Lucia as a preferred destination, noting that the island has been added to a limited list of 8 safe destinations for American tourists.
We are the lowest COVID response or COVID incident rate in the Western Hemisphere. In Central America, in Latin America, and the Caribbean, in the entire Americas, we have recorded the lowest rate of COVID incidents. So that in itself is very clear and debunks that argument specifically. And today, the United States listing St. Lucia as one of 8 countries at level 1, where it says that it is very safe to travel because the level of COVID incidents have been put under control.
Though the likeliness of infection in St. Lucia has been determined to be very low, the CDC continues to recommend that older patients or people of any age with serious health conditions talk to their healthcare providers before traveling to St. Lucia. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the CCC fires back at a vendor who accused an officer of heavy-handedness and abuse of power. The SLMDA says for the foreseeable future, it is only right that all mass crowd events be cancelled or postponed. And priest Kailashes call for proper education on cannabis for youth. That and more after the break.